Hello there, this is LEGO Dynasty, and today I'm bringing you guys my review of the LEGO Galaxy Explorer. It is set number 10497, comes with 1,254 pieces, and is rated ages 18 years and up. Now, of course, while the set is rated at that, doesn't mean kids younger than that couldn't build this. In fact, I would say for an 18 plus set, this was a very easy build. It doesn't have too many difficult techniques whatsoever. It basically is just targeting adults and adult collectors, as this is a remake of a classic LEGO set that was released a long time ago. Now, the set is a part of LEGO's 90 years of play, or 90 years of LEGO being a company, so they just wanted to have a look back on their history. I'm sure they're going to do it at 100 years as well, in 10 years from now. Now, this set retails in the United States for $99.99 and in Canada for $129.99. And off the bat, I just ought to say, this set is probably one of the best, if not the best, LEGO set at its price point currently on the market, in my opinion. I think what you get in this set, the size of the LEGO set itself, the figures, while basic, have some nostalgia to them. I just think the set, just off the top, is, in my opinion, the absolute best value LEGO set you could buy today. It helps that this set isn't a part of a licensed theme in that aspect. If this was a Star Wars set, for an example, you're probably looking at, honestly, an extra, 50 US, maybe 80 Canadian dollars to buy this set, if just to have it be a Star Wars set with Star Wars figures. And I think that's what helps the set be so good value, is at its price point. It doesn't have to pay any licensing fees, it's just LEGO's own brand, and that just helps this set be such a great price, and definitely one that I recommend. And now let's get into why I think this is such a great set. Taking a look at the manual, you can see it is not in the newer style manuals, or at least the 18 plus sets that have been releasing have not gotten, the rendered image. They've actually been these nice actual images of the LEGO set that look a lot cooler. They aren't just rendered on just a plain black background, essentially. And they just look so much nicer. Now, as it is an 18 plus set, they do have some nice information from the designer. One of the interesting things, I'll try and find a reference, is they do have like really cool information. Here's some. So this happens quite a few, especially the later you go into the model. So it says here, the red and green navigational lights on the original model were not placed traditionally. Red lights on the left, green lights on the right. Instead, the red lights are towards the front and green lights towards the rear. The new model keeps that same placement, just to reference the older set. And there's some other ones that are even kind of more interesting. So like referencing that the original set had that same designation as an example. So that's pretty cool, having that extra information. Haven't seen that in another LEGO set other than the occasional LEGO Star Wars UCS set sort of have that information. Like I think of I know it's not a UCS set, but the Master Builder Series Cantina had a lot of information throughout the manual, and it's just kind of nice to have it included in this. Now, I will bring up this was included in my box. It just says, LEGO's transitioning to, the paper bags. I've still yet to get any paper bags in my LEGO sets. It's still all plastic. So, yeah, just kind of interesting. They threw this in. Taking a look at the extra pieces here, you can see quite a few little studs and, Technic pieces that are extra, or a big brick separator, of course. And yeah, that's some decent pieces that you get as extras. Taking a look at our minifigures, we do get two of the same types of minifigures. So you get two astronauts in white suits and then two in red. They're overall very basic minifigures. There's not a whole lot of detail. Definitely leaning into the nostalgia. But it does have this very nice printed, LEGO space, classic space design there, which is awesome to see. And there is no back printing. You see he does have the scuba tank to represent his oxygen tank. No visor even, because they didn't even have those back then for the LEGO sets. In fact, it is sort of a different style. I'm not even sure if you could fit a typical LEGO visor on it, or even if you could, it wouldn't like fully enclose it. It's just kind of interesting. It's a slightly different style helmet. I'm wondering if it's like the older style. I doubt this is like a newer style helmet that they're going to release forever for future sets with these type of helmets, but just kind of interesting. You can see it's wider, you know, you can fully see his face on the, I guess you can call it the newer style, even though it's from older sets. You know, it would go and almost cover their mouth or be at least closer, etc. So it's definitely wider there. Very cool though. And I'm not going to take off the scuba tank, just as it's just a plain white back. But overall, very nice minifigure to get, you know, just a classic one. I think when I was a kid, I used to have a classic blue Lego astronaut figure. Don't have it anymore. Might have gone into some sort of yard sale or just lost over the years, I don't know. So, but it's still very cool to get one of these figures. And then next we have two of these red astronauts as well. Again, the same logo, just printed on the red torso there. Looks excellent. Same helmet, just in red. Looks great. Red scuba tank. Just a very nice figure, even if it's like undetailed. Like, this is them going bare bones, fully nostalgia based, and it's definitely targeting way older collectors that used to have this set as kids, maybe to get it for their own kids, or just to get again themselves. Next up, we have this, it's not really a minifigure, but it's a robot, which looks to be like a coffee giver robot. Just kind of a fun little extra detail there. Just kind of a throw-in as far as I can tell. I'm not sure if it was included in the original set at all, but still nice to get. You have this nice printed piece. I gotta say, there's absolutely no stickers in this set, which is fantastic, especially since the older set, it mentions in the manual, did have stickers. So very cool of Lego to actually print every single piece you'll see that has designs fully. Like, even you'll see some what I think are brand new like little computer console pieces on little flat 2x2 plates, and those are all printed as well. You know, these are printed. You can see the other pieces on the ship that are printed as well. Just very awesome to see from Lego, and something I hope we continue to see become more and more commonplace. Now, taking a look at the Galaxy Explorer, you can obviously tell it is quite a large set. Like, it is deceptively large, especially coming out of this box. Only 1,200 pieces. Only 1,200 pieces, but it is absolutely using those 1,200 pieces quite well. There's quite a few larger pieces, as you can see throughout the set, and just overall, it combines into a very, I want to say, like, heavy set. Like, this is definitely not light, even though it looks very thin. It has quite a few pieces, and the weight is definitely felt there. You can see, really love the translucent, you know, windshield pieces. You got two of them, and they look awesome. You got this very cool printed piece. Like I said, every detail you see that you might expect to be a sticker is actually printed, which is incredible. So this classic, you know, Lego Space Systems logo there. You got the LL928, which is printed brick there, which looks fantastic, and it's on both sides as well, as you can see there. The ship itself has some great, excellent detail. I love the engines, you know, the red, you know, thrusters there, giving it some extra detail. You can see how they're kind of built using all those extra pieces there. Really makes it really detailed. You do got these, what I can assume are like sirens or like warnings. I'm not sure exactly what they're supposed to represent, but they look really cool on the side of the ship there. And then, of course, we have one of the coolest aspects is how they've made this arrow design. They talk about it again inside the manual. And then you do got these extra compartments on the side there. They each contain something. So in this case, they have what I can assume are weapons there for the astronauts. And then on the other side is an extra breathing tube. But what they've done, which is really cool to me, is it's a black one instead of, you know, a red or a white one. So basically, if you have another, basically a way to distinguish the astronauts, I guess. If they find someone, they'll give them the black, Just kind of a cool extra detail. Obviously, there isn't an extra minifigure included. There's only the 4, but I still love that extra detail included in the set. And you do have the engines on the side here, which can actually detach and act sort of as like mini rocket ships, almost like microfighter rockets. Now, just taking a look at the bottom there, you can see the landing gear, which I've had open the whole time. But you can put it into flight mode by just moving those there, and it looks very smooth when it's all down. And then just to show kind of how it looks, sits flat perfectly. It's not like leaning or anything, which is great. It's all smooth. There's not like extra pieces that are like propping it up a little bit, making it not fully like flat essentially. So great to see that. Sometimes Lego has some issues with that, and I just think that it's great. So if you, for some reason, didn't have a lot of space to, have it high enough, in like landed mode, you can put it into flight mode essentially and leave it on your shelves in that way, which is nice. Now I'll show off what the mini engines sort of look like. So basically, right here on both sides, it's kind of clipped in, and you can just sort of pseudo break it off essentially. And you see here, I won't do it on both sides, but you can do it with both. You have this little, studs here where you can place your minifigure. You got some controls, and we'll just grab our trusty astronaut here, and you can just fly him around essentially. Just a fun little detail. I'm sure if you have any kids that built this set, they love something like this. Just the extra playability essentially. You can act like it's basically almost like an escape pod in a sense, or a speeder, whatever. It's just a fun little detail, something that Lego didn't have to do, I don't think, but including just enhances the set essentially. I think just extra value essentially. And to place it back down, I'll just move these control panels. So basically they clip in here on both sides. You can see those parts, and it just goes in like so, just like that, and it's sturdy. It's not going to pop off at all. Taking a look inside, I'll show off what some of these control panels look like. Again, all these sort of designs are, as far as I'm aware, brand new, and they are printed. So like right here, you have this cool, now a lot of them are the same, just repeats, but they're still really cool to see. So you can see that one right there. And you can see some of the other sort of control panels in front of the steering wheel there. They'll actually be more easy to see because they're not blocked down here. But yeah, you have 4 seats inside this front cockpit for all of your astronauts. So I'll show off what that looks like. So as you can see, all the astronauts are inside. Now you do have to move some of the minifigures' hands just so they can fully fit inside. As you can see, specifically mostly the ones on the inside, you'll have to move one of the minifigures' hands up just so they can both sit essentially side by side. You can then push them down a little bit. Looks like the red guy is kind of controlling the ship, so that's kind of fun, I guess. But just so they can both, all 4 can fit next to each other. Looks great. They still have on their, not jetpack, oxygen tanks as well. And this is how it looks with all the, I guess, cockpit down in flying mode. Looks great. The yellow really looks cool with the figures inside, I gotta say, in my opinion. Now, of course, there is some extra detail over here. You can see some of the other computer panels. Again, they're kind of repeats of what we see at the front, but you can kind of get a better glimpse of how they look. And as far as I'm aware, they are new. I could be wrong on some of them. Apologies if I am, but I haven't seen them personally. So, yeah, that's basically what I'm going off of is my experience. And overall, they look great. You do have some extra like little compartments there, which is awesome. These are actually, these compartments here are what's on the outside, so you can't open in here because they're through the outside. Still kind of cool. And then you have this really cool sort of doorway. The only Bad thing is this doorway right here is it does open. It's not like able to be clicked in place. So you can kind of see there, and then when I turn it, it sort of opens up. But that leads us to our next aspect of the set, which is how this can open up here and reveals a nice little, dune buggy, which is awesome. And again, you can see the doorway. It's on these slides, so it just slides out and closes. Again, it doesn't clip, which is probably the only aspect of the set that I wish they found a way to do, is have this sort of click in place, and then if you wanted to open it, you could pop it off, and it would just basically re-click whenever it needed to, essentially. Because that's the only aspect I don't like, is when this sort of opens, when I'm sort of swooshing it around, essentially. Now, with this dune buggy, again, you can place your minifigure on. I'll grab one to show that. So you can place your minifigure, and you can actually close with the minifigure on the set, which is great. It's not too tall or anything, so you can be ready to go in a hurry, essentially. And again, these just have these nice little clip pieces that go into here, holds it in place very well. You're not going to have any issues of it opening up on its own, which is awesome. Now, the great thing is the dune buggy has a way to essentially quickly release it. So basically, you just move this down, and then there's this really cool plate. Normally these are used, for display plates or display plaques for UCS sets. But in this case, it's a nice little ramp, and you can see right there, just goes right out on its own. But just in general, I really love it. Like, again, I'll show it off again. So this ramp just slides out until it clicks. You're never going to pull it too far, and then you just drop it, and it goes out right away. And it's really cool. That's all there is to it. Now, of course, you can theoretically reenact him going back up if you wanted to. Lock in place, and because of these little Technic pieces, it's not going to come out very easily. Like, obviously he's not locked in or anything like that, but it holds it in place very well overall. In general, I gotta say this set is absolutely a must-have if you're at all a Lego fan. Even if you're specifically into Star Wars, Harry Potter, whatever, Speed Champions, I just think in general, if you're a fan of Lego whatsoever, this set is a must-have. I think this is absolutely probably my favorite set of the summer, and that's coming from a guy that mostly likes Lego Star Wars sets. I think this set is absolutely a must-have. I think this set, if you're, again, looking at it from the Star Wars angle, again, since Star Wars is the biggest theme, you can use this for Star Wars, it has that playability if you want to battle it out with TIE Fighters. It's got cannons, too, at the front. I don't think I mentioned that. It has the guns. So it has that, playability factor as well, and just it's a really, really cool set, I gotta say. I absolutely love that Lego sort of went back in their history and remade this set. Again, I never had this set as a kid. My parents never had this set or anything. I just thought the set itself looked cool, and I'm glad to say it definitely lives up to how it looks. I just think it's a fantastic set, and one of the best Lego sets I own, one of my favorite sets I own, and definitely one of the most economical sets that Lego has released. Again, part of that factor is, it's not a licensed theme, it's just Lego's own theme, which helps keep the costs down. But in general, Lego could have, it wouldn't have been a surprise if this set was packed with stickers of, this was a sticker, these were stickers, some of the control panels inside were stickers, but all of them are printed. And while, yes, the minifigures themselves are a little bit basic, with just the simple printing, no back printing, I'm okay with that. They're going with the nostalgia aspect, and in this case, I think the less detail actually helps the set a little bit better. You can create your own scenarios, essentially, and I think that's just awesome. So, at its current price point, there's always a chance, Lego just increased a bunch of set prices. They could increase the set in the future. They could just decide to do that. Lego has precedent now to do that. So I definitely think this is a set. If you want it, I would get it sooner, just to avoid any potential price increases of this set in the future. Because as of right now, I think this set is absolutely the best price Lego set currently on the market for. And yes, while it is still a bit expensive, $100 isn't nothing in the US and 130 Canadian, that's not nothing. I still think overall, with what you're paying for, this set is absolutely great value. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the LEGO Galaxy Explorer in the comments down below. Are you guys a fan of this set? Have I convinced you on picking it up if you haven't gone already, or have you already got it? Let me know in the comments down below. This has been LEGO Dynasty. Please leave a like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and have a great day, everyone.